Crowhill here. Today we review a cream ale and discuss 5 topics in 5 minutes each. Hello and welcome to Beer and Conversation with Pigweed and Crowhill. Good evening, Pigweed.
Good evening, Crowhill.
What's on your mind?
I got so many things on my mind, I can't keep them straight.
Yeah, well, that's the problem with having a mind. It just gets full, you know?
So many things.
So many things.
We've got our running list of things, and now once our list gets up too high, we're like, all right.
We got to knock some out.
I can do, we could do 30 minutes on any one of these,
Yes.
but sometimes we just figure, all right.
I mean, literally, there's way too many topics. we just have to pick 5 of them and just get them out of the way.
All right, let's go ahead.
But first,
Oh, no.
we have to drink. So this is courtesy of Captain Crowhill. This is her favorite beer, and it's a White Russian cream ale from Jailbreak Brewing, which is local. They're right up the street here.
Okay.
And it's a cream ale made to taste like a White Russian cocktail, which is vodka, Kahlua, and half and half. It's what the Big Lebowski the dude drinks it all through. Yeah.
So you're expecting some vanilla notes, some coffee notes, some
creaminess,
and some creamy mouthfeel.
Yeah, and I'm getting all those things, but not in anywhere near the intensity that you would get with a White Russian. Because it's a beer, it's way lighter.
Yes, it could be an imperial. If it was 9%, maybe you give it make it a little boozier.
But it's a cream ale.
It's a cream ale. Yeah, that's supposed to be imperial cream ale. Maybe nobody's done that yet.
Maybe we should try. Right. So I like it. It's good. The White Russian cream ale. All right. So we've got 5 topics. So we got to get the timer going here, so we can keep track of this. The first one is Confusibles.
All right, let me do this real quick. The thing that got this topic going is, for some reason, in the traffic world, they have taken to blowing up grammar. So, Bob, and we're going to go to Bob now for his traffic report. And Bob says, "It's an accident here on the Parkway."
It's an accident.
He starts, but it's not just Bob. So I thought it was Bob. Mm-hmm. Then I heard somebody else on the same channel.
Doing the same thing?
Then I heard somebody on a different channel, but always the traffic people. It's not, it's there.
Yes.
There is.
There is, yes.
And then if you want to refer back to it, now you have the thing.
Yeah.
Now the it refers back to the thing.
Yes.
And it's a real mess.
Yes. Yeah, well that's a standard rule of writing, is that you want something like it, you need to know what it is.
Yes. And mostly you shouldn't even use it. You just keep calling it the thing.
Yeah.
The thing.
There's an accident.
Anyway, this apparently got you going with 2 pages worth of
I've got a lot
possible grammar.
We can't possibly cover them all, but one of my pet ones is less and fewer. People always get that wrong. So less is when you have something like water or sugar, or you have less water, you have less sugar. But fewer is when you have discrete things.
So when John used to work in a grocery store, and when you're in the express line, what does the sign say?
Yeah, 5 items or fewer, which is what it should be.
No. Well, mostly it says. Well, the thing that gets John mad is that it often says 20 or less.
Okay, well, which is wrong.
Yes, that's what made it so mad.
Okay, yes, it's crazy because
I didn't know that though. Go ahead.
I don't like it when people say less people. You don't mean less people. What are you, cutting them off at the knees? No, it's fewer people. Right? Because less would be, you can have less of something that's like fluid, or you measure it, but you have
less cream in my coffee.
Yes, but fewer ice cubes.
But fewer ice cubes.
Yeah.
Right. And the way to remember that is if you tried to flip it around, you would, I want fewer milk in my coffee. Then you'd realize, okay, wait a minute.
That's stupid.
Right. That would be helpful to sometimes knowing the opposite is what.
Yes, exactly. That's good.
What else you got?
Farther and further. Okay. And this is a simple one.
I just thought it was like British thing or people sounding cool.
So farther has to do with distance.
Right.
Okay. Except when you were to say something like, you've gone too far, which doesn't have to do with distance. And you can't say you've gone too far. But generally speaking, farther has to do with distance. So
then you would... So give me a further.
Can I explain that further?
Okay. Right.
It has nothing to do with distance.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So how about home in versus hone in.
Yeah, I think
all the time.
I think people just like hope that nobody else notices.
Yes,
because they're not quite sure.
Honing is the process of like getting a knife sharp.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you're talking about, I want to hone my presentation, that makes sense. But when homing in is usually what you mean. Homing in means like getting to the target.
But you could use that in the same, while you're talking about your presentation, you really just want to home in on a particular point.
There you go.
After you have
honed your presentation. Yeah. So hone, it's like sharpening. Yes, right.
So a pigeon comes home.
Yeah, right.
Right.
Yes,
so it's a homing pigeon.
Yes.
All right.
Okay.
What do you got?
All right. How about lay versus lie?
I think you know what. As far as like little rules, it's like people lie and things lay. Right.
Okay.
Things can't lie to you.
Yeah. So lie means to be in a flat position, and lay means to place something down flat.
Okay. So you're gonna lie down.
But then it gets a little complicated because lay is the past tense of lie. And laid is the past tense of lay.
You're having sex.
Anyway, yeah. There you go. Okay. Yeah. How about affect and effect?
Yeah. Yeah, I it's to special effects. Like you.
Okay, sure.
That's kind of like my helpful one. I'm going, okay, that's what I mean by that, which is a noun.
Yeah.
Right? Where effect.
Yeah. My father would always say you affect and effect. The affect is a verb.
Yeah.
Right. So that's one way to go with it. That and which always bugs the heck out of me.
It does bug you, but I don't think I have it down enough for it to be bugged.
Okay. So that introduces an essential clause. So
well, see, that's not very helpful. That's not a quick, device.
I have two cars.
Right.
And I say my car that is in the driveway. Now it specifies which car. Which car?
See, now you've thrown in which into your explanation.
Yeah, okay. But it specifies the car that I'm talking about. My car that is in the driveway.
Right.
It's essential to the meaning of the sentence because I have two cars. Which car am I talking about? I'm talking about the car that is in the driveway.
Right.
However, let's say I have a red car and a blue car. And I say, my car, which is red, that's not essential to the meaning because, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it just happens. Which introduces a non-essential clause.
Yeah, but that's not. So, but when you're in the process of speaking,
yes,
and you're about to say one of the two,
yes,
mentally stopping to anticipate the essentialness of the following clause.
Well, I've been doing it for so many years.
Well, right? I mean, do you have something easier in the front end of it before you get to the essential clause part?
The easy rule is this: don't say which. That's the easy rule.
Okay, lean
towards that. Yes, and we've gone over. That's 6 minutes, and we didn't even touch half.
Oh my goodness! All right, well, that's going to be on
another time. Yeah. Okay, so what's our next one?
Swiss fat lesbians.
Oh my gosh.
So, a French-Swiss polemicist, whose name is, whatever his name is, was sentenced to 60 days in jail for calling another journalist a fat lesbian.
Okay, and was the other person a fat lesbian?
A self-described fat lesbian.
A self-described. The person described.
Self-described and by every possible obvious measure.
Is clearly a fat lesbian.
Is clearly a fat lesbian who I'm sure has described herself with much pride.
Yeah.
In certain circles.
Yeah.
With fat pride and lesbian pride because there is no more pride that you can get than all the rainbows in the world telling you how important it is.
Well, she could have been a fat lesbian transgendered person.
All right, she's a queer activist, and this guy
he called her a fat lesbian.
He called her a fat lesbian. Well,
okay, so why?
So why do you end up with?
And he went to prison.
Why do you end up with 60 days in jail? Well, let me see.
How is that even possible? If you call somebody names, you go to jail for that? How is that? How's that even possible? I mean, I thought we had free speech and all that kind of stuff.
No, it's a strong signal that homophobic hatred cannot be tolerated in our society.
But how is it homophobic hatred to call someone a fat lesbian if they are a fat lesbian?
Exactly. So this is libs of TikTok.
Okay.
So if you're a blue-haired weirdo spouting off gender ideology, and people are clapping for you, then that's a good thing. If libs of TikTok puts you on their site and people point at you and laugh, now it's hate speech.
So exactly the same speech.
Yes.
Can be okay. So if I'm saying fat lesbian in a way that's supposed to be taken negatively,
yes,
then you're trying to
even though
participate in our
even though you're self-described, and by all obvious measure,
yes,
are both fat and lesbian. So right. So if you say
it's like I hate crime.
Exactly.
Okay. It comes down to judging people by what you perceive their motives are.
Right. So if you could be in a room where everybody where you are introduced as a fat lesbian, and if everybody stands up and applauds,
that's good.
That's a good thing. If you say it with derision,
if you say fat lesbian and everybody laughs, now you go to jail.
Now you go to jail.
I see. That's the new rule.
Yes, she is. Here you go. Is an important moment for justice and rights of LGBTQI people in Switzerland.
They missed the A.
We need we need a lot more letters in here.
Yeah.
The whole alphabet, I think.
Yep.
So he had to pay fine. So the left. Maybe we should do a show on the old left versus the new left. Remember when the left was all about freedom?
Yes.
And now
when the left was against the man, against government, now they're pro-government.
They love the idea of government coming in and forcing people to think things and to say words. Yep. They are the open fascists without understanding the term. I love the fact that I don't know when anybody calls out Antifa. Do you know what fascism is? It's when you use violence to stop your opponents from speaking, which is your 100% MO, and then call yourself anti-fascist.
I remember one of the very first Pigweed and Crowhill episodes where you were regaling us with sign everywhere, a sign. That's the old left.
That's old left.
Stop telling me what to do. Get off my back. Leave me alone.
All right.
And
so
now that's not the left at all.
No, I see a future show at old left versus new left. I also see a show on projection.
Ooh.
Even though I am, of course, I am the fascist who calls you fascist.
Well, okay, that is definitely a big part of the playbook nowadays. Is whatever you're guilty of, accuse the other side of, and that's that. Watch for that, kids. Look for people.
So just so you know, if you're ever in Switzerland.
Don't call somebody a fat lesbian.
You see a self-proclaimed fat lesbian?
Don't call her that.
Don't call her that.
Okay. All right, there we go. So the next one is back to the office a tool of the patriarchy?
What in the world are you talking about?
Yeah, so this actually, it sounds crazy,
okay.
but I saw an article where some feminist was saying that the whole movement to get back to the office is trying to get women out of the workplace. So the basic logic goes like this. It's well established, and this has gone on for a long time, that men are far willing to work jobs that they don't like, do things that they don't like, put up with crap they don't like, in order to
put in more hours.
Put in more hours.
More time away from the family.
Exactly.
And so when they actually make more money, then you say that's unfair. But that's not where we're going.
Yeah, that's not where we're going. But the idea, it's well established that men are willing to do stuff that they really don't want to do because for the sake of the job, to get the money. Okay. Women, on the other hand, generally speaking, obviously I'm speaking generally, not about particular women. Generally speaking, women are more interested in work-life balance. because they're more worried about the kids, getting the kids to school, there are other kinds of things.
Yeah, which is great.
Which is good.
It should be.
Yeah, exactly. Women should be worried about those things.
I'll do all the sacrificing. You do less sacrificing and make sure the kids get to piano practice.
Right. We're all for that. Yeah. Yes. But so the idea is women, it's far easier for a woman to work from home where she can pick up the kid at the bus stop, or she can do the work-life balance thing.
So with this whole COVID realignment,
yes, it's the anti-COVID realignment. It's the now that COVID is over, we want you back in the office. A lot of women are saying this is bad for women because women were much happier with the work from home environment. I mean, like a lot of people like the work from home environment, but women, it's even better for women because of the need for a work-life balance. So what they're saying is this whole get everybody back into the office is anti-women. It's discriminating against women because, you see what I'm saying?
There we go.
Right. It's discriminating against women because it impacts women more because they're not as willing to make those kinds of sacrifices. So if all of a sudden I had to commute an hour a day like I used to all the time, then okay, fine, I'd do that, right? But for women, they say, no, I've got to pick up Junior at the bus stop and I've got to, do this and that.
Remember that show we did about how COVID and Floyd realigned America? Mm-hmm. Yeah, so now all of a sudden, nobody has to go to work, and asking people to go back to work
is somehow patriarchy, right?
Yes, is it right? Now the feminists have redefined it as, war on women to ask it, and
it's not a war on women. Now, so there's actually a legitimate question.
It could be. So this is how the whole equity thing works. If it's disproportionately affects somebody or disproportionately upsets somebody,
then it's suddenly
then it's fundamentally wrong. From the supposition.
Right.
But originally it's just companies going, we're less productive, guys. All right, we already did this. You guys, you have to come back to work. And then people stomping around like,
So there is legitimate debate. There is legitimate debate over the question of whether work from home does affect productivity. And so I know a lot of people will argue about that. And some people will say, no, things are actually better when people work from home. Okay, I don't believe those studies because there's this component to it.
Yes, well, and it's 100% case by case.
Yes.
I never missed a single day through the entire COVID experience.
Yeah.
I went to work every darn day because my job requires me to be there. Now, if there are people who cannot be there, and we have discovered as a result that that some people do better, some people it doesn't matter. Mm-hmm. All right, that's good. But if individual companies are saying, "All right, guys." Yeah. That's enough.
And also rolled up statistics don't really apply in this situation because one company might be different than another. In one company, having everybody together talking over the water cooler might be more important.
That companies, as if it's a thing,
yeah,
do better with X, Y, and Z. It doesn't make any sense at all. So it's not men exerting their patriarchal rule over women in order to ask people to come into the office.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, well, I don't know. My company's never given any thought to accommodating anybody's anything, you're paid to show up and do your job.
So do it, right.
So do it. What are you talking about?
The bottom line is everything doesn't reduce down to this kind of analysis.
Oh, jeez, patriarchy.
All right, yeah, we're done. Okay, we got what's next here?
This is the greatest rap song, one of your favorite rap songs ever.
Yeah, my favorite rap song is the one I don't hear.
Okay, so Ben Shapiro joins up with
Dr. Dreidel.
Dr. Dreidel and Jupac. Yeah, they were just great. So, is in a rap song with this guy Tom McDonald that I'm not familiar with,
Yeah,
but after hearing this, I mean, apparently he's pretty famous. White guy, face tats, hair dreads, silver teeth, all
the paraphernalia, yeah.
But with a very conservative message, and so it's Tom, and it's so Ben Shapiro has a show called Facts, right?
Okay,
and
yeah.
the idea of facts don't care about your feelings has been going on for a few years.
Yeah.
And Ben's there with a hoodie on, with facts don't care about your feelings on his shirt, and the song is "I Don't Care If I Offend You," and it's kind of all of there are only two genders. Very conservative in principle, and not only that,
except if it was conservative, they would say there are only two sexes.
but come on, high five, great song. I bought the thing. Okay. I had to.
You can do that. I do not like rap.
Yes.
Rap to me is like, some people really hate it when the teacher is drawing on the chalkboard and there's that sound. And like some people get that like shiver down the spine. Yes. That never really bothered me, but I realize some people that it's just like that bothers them. The fingers on the fingernails on a chalkboard. Rap is that way to me.
But let's break down so speaking rhythmically rather than singing melodically, is that the problem?
We're going to psychoanalyze.
I've Been Everywhere, Man by Johnny Cash.
Yeah, but
Would you consider that rap?
It's a little melodic. It's I've been everywhere, man. He's not just speaking. I've been everywhere.
So is that the issue?
Yeah, I like melody. So that's part of it.
Yeah.
I like melody and harmony and rhythm, and that's to me what makes up music. So the idea of people just talking, I don't like that. Although I have to admit, there are some types of musical performance where there's like a narration that goes along with it. So that's
like
like
William
patriotic.
Shatner's spoken.
That's an interesting example.
Okay, let's not do that.
I'm actually thinking of when I was in junior high school band. There was this patriotic song that the band played, and I like spoke this part that went along with it. But that's
there was the Grand Old Flag, which by Johnny Cash,
exactly.
But he was just reading.
He was just talking.
How about We Didn't Light the Fire by Billy Joel, or let's just say The End of the World as We Know It.
Yeah, but that's still singing to some extent.
So it's hard to. What I'm getting at is what I do not enjoy about rap is fundamentally the message that I associate with it. Mm-hmm. Now I'm sure there's plenty of I don't know. I haven't heard it. There are plenty of rap songs that are intellectually interesting, and I haven't heard very many of those, but I tend to associate it with a negative message.
Yeah.
And what I'm thinking is you have to go where the culture is. And so what Ben and Tom are doing is going where the kids are, who are probably only hearing one political message, who aren't particularly political themselves, but they're like, I like this music, and this is the message they're feeding me, so I guess that's what I think. And so what Tom and Ben are doing is going, this is the music you like. Maybe this message here is more along your lines, and there are kids out there that are going, oh, you know what? I never thought that these ideas could be delivered to me in this.
That's similar to the whole argument in the whole Christian rock thing that came out back in the 70s.
Yeah, the Amy Grant and
But I mean, there was some like heavy duty Christian rock where people were saying, this is what the kids want to listen to, so let's do the same stuff but have and this is actually going to tie into our next topic.
Yeah, and so I bought it. I also bought Oliver Anthony. I bought small can't do this in a small town. Which I don't even like the song particularly.
Okay.
And I don't, or this one here, but I just wanted to register. I want my $1.25. I want to push the numbers up the chart.
Yeah.
For that reason, I'm hoping that I hope Ben never does this again, but I hope Tom McDonald and his conservative message in rap has some success.
Okay, all right, that's fair enough. So
all right, so what's our number 5?
Our number 5 is the He Gets Us Super Bowl ad.
Yes,
which actually ties in a little bit with the previous topic,
right?
Because it's like trying to reach people where they are. Now, one thing about this ad is a lot of people wonder, who is this He Gets Us thing?
Yeah, who are these people?
Apparently, it's the people who own Hobby Lobby.
Okay, so it's a legit Christian organization. It's not like somebody. In a sense, I'm almost wondering if it's undermining. But go ahead.
So if you go into Hobby Lobby, you'll see these little stands with a bunch of Christian books on them, and it's.
Are they open on Sunday?
I don't know.
Right.
That's an interesting question. Yeah. So the He Gets Us ad has been criticized for a bunch of reasons, and basically the main reason is they're reaffirming. One way to take it is that they're reaffirming an unfair criticism of Christians. That a lot of people will say, oh, Christians are just a bunch of judgmental, mean, angry people. And the He Gets Us ads in some way are affirming that by saying, when we're saying Jesus didn't teach hate, you shouldn't be blah, blah, blah. But that's
there's like a reverse implication.
Yes.
Right? By denying something, you're affirming that the opposite actually exists.
Yeah, you're saying that all these religious people are filled with hate and judgment and all that kind of stuff. And obviously there are some people who use religion as a covering for hate. That's certainly true. But to make it sound like that's what religion and Christianity is about, that's the negative side of it. That's why people are upset with this message. They're making it seem as if you're affirming the idea that whenever somebody has a message, like they say, you should get married before you have sex or something like that, that's somehow a hateful message. So that's the main criticism as I see it.
Yeah, but what was you tweeted the commercial that it should have been.
Oh yeah, right. Yeah, so another way to look at it is the He Gets Us thing is very me focused.
That other commercial that it would have been was a bunch of people who have changed their lives around.
Yes, exactly. So it's a question
because in this one it's there.
God accepts you exactly the way you are, even if
exactly
you're
no matter what you're doing. Yeah. Jesus is a foot washer, and no matter how you live your life, He loves you. Yeah. That's the message.
Yeah, and Jesus never said things like "go and sin no more" or "repent, for the kingdom of God is at hand" or anything like that. It's all just "I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you." Yeah,
you're right. I accept you with all your sin, and go on and sin freely.
Right, and I still accept you. Yeah.
Yes.
So it does give that kind of a soft message where. It's missing a big part of the gospel. The message was
these are people who used to it was ex-gang member, ex-prostitute, right? It was all these people whose lives have been changed by who have changed their ways.
Yes.
As a result of their experience with Jesus, which seems like a better message.
Yes, where the message of the He Gets Us thing seems to be, oh, it's okay that you're this way. Jesus still loves you and everything's fine, and there's no call at all to repentance or a moral life. And so there's different ways to look at that. On the one hand, you're saying, let's open the funnel. Let's try to get as many people as possible interested in Jesus so that they can learn a little bit more and then be intrigued. And then maybe that will lead to some sort of, but then there's the other question of, well, wait a minute, aren't there some standards? So that's kind of a long-standing tension in
Babylon B.
sinners relieved to learn Jesus gets them, and they don't have to repent or change their lives in any way. Yeah, that's exactly right.
That's right.
You know, the Babylon Bee has a way of condensing a topic down to something, and just like, yes, you nailed it.
And it's funny.
It is funny,
but it's a gut punch at the same time. So I have over here as a 5-minute potential subject, Europeans converting to Islam, and let me just do that one now. So so I'm thinking, what if there's a young person who thinks, you know what, the hedonism, materialism, and self-indulgence of the West really isn't getting it done for me. So I'm looking for discipline, guidance, and structure.
Exactly.
And then Christianity says, come as you are.
Yeah. And be a sinner.
Do whatever you want.
Jesus
and they
will
said,
wash your feet and love you.
Right. And Islam's going, you're looking for discipline, guidance, and structure?
We'll give it to you.
I got it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
So there is some concern.
Yes, there is an argument.
Be a little concerned.
That this milquetoast bland message is feeding directly to exactly what you're saying. Yeah. Thanks so much for listening to Beer and Conversation with Pigweed and Crowhill. Remember to visit us at pigweedandcrowhill.com or send us an email at pigweedshow@gmail.com.